So joining us now is Richard Wahlquist, the president and CEO of the American Staffing Association. Richard, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us. So what do you think about the resurgence of COVID in the last month? Do you think potentially that could weigh on these jobs numbers that we're looking at today?
Baker, thanks for having me. And the answer is it'll show up in this jobs report, and it's going to show up in the next couple of job reports. The Delta variant has been a game changer for all of the plans that corporations have been putting in place for the last 16 months. This was really a wrench in the gears that no one expected. And so things are very, very fast moving, and it is having an impact on employee attitudes about returning to work.
Absolutely. I mean, my gosh, in April and even May, I think we had a completely different outlook of what the world was going to be like at this particular time. I think most of us were expecting September was going to be this amazing moment for us to be back in the offices. And look, despite these job openings that we're seeing, a lot of job openings out there and the millions of people still unemployed, there still is a labor shortage in this country. What, in your mind, is causing this?
So we had a labor shortage in terms of a skills gap, in terms of people that had the qualifications to meet the needs of an expanding economy before we tipped into that very, very brief recession, according to the National Bureau of Research. So the skill sets that were in short supply and high demand going into the pandemic are still in high demand. And in the past 16 months, we didn't all of a sudden produce a big new crop of thousands of IT workers, of web programmers, of cybersecurity specialists. So we're going to continue to face those shortages. And again, in the healthcare industry. The healthcare industry has had shortages in terms of nurses and doctors and clinicians. And those shortages haven't gone away.
Yeah, let's talk about the hospitality sector here, because that was obviously one sector that was decimated because of the pandemic. It has definitely been the one area that has seen the biggest rebound in almost every jobs report we've gotten for the last few months as more cities reopen their restaurants. Do you expect that this July jobs report will really show that that sector maybe weighed on this, brought back more jobs? Is that going to be an interesting one to watch today?
Yeah, the last couple of jobs reports are reflecting what we had been seeing in society, which is a reopening of America. We got very close to the hospitality industry. The American Staffing Association and its member companies have launched initiatives over the past 6 months all over the country to get in touch with hospitality workers that couldn't go back to the places that they'd been working for months or years or their entire career. And the message was, look, you might not realize it because you've spent most of your career working as a hostess or a bartender or a waiter or a waitress, but you've got really strong customer service skills. So we can take you in and maybe with a little bit of skills training, we can redeploy you. And we've done a lot of redeployment in terms of supporting the COVID supply chain. First, it was all about sick people. And lately, it's been around vaccinations. And most recently, we're kind of back to both.
Richard, what do you think companies need to do to find and fill a lot of these job openings that are out there? Is it higher wages? Is it childcare opportunities for a lot of people out there? Is it these extended unemployment benefits expiring in September? What do these companies need to do to fill a lot of these roles?
The answer is all of the above. There's an expectation in America that things are going to open up in terms of the labor supply in September when the kids are going back to school. Some of those government subsidies will fall off. But right now, employers that are facing increases in demand for their products and services, and they just can't meet all of those increases because they can't find labor, they're using every tool in the toolkit, and they're turning to the members of our industry to say, look, you guys are recruiting professionals. We need you to find people. And increasingly, the efforts at Baker have been to try to get people off of the sidelines. We've got 9.2 million job openings, and we've got as many people or more that are on the sidelines. Some of them just don't know how to reattach themselves to the labor market. So a big focus of the industry, of private sector companies we're talking to, and even our discussions with the government, it's around what it's going to take to give these people the skills they need. Workforce development is going to be a big priority to get them back here so that we don't have new headwinds on GDP growth because labor supply is not keeping up with economic growth.
Yeah, and we're less than 5 minutes away from those jobs numbers coming out here in just a little bit. Richard Wahlquist is the president and CEO of the American Staffing Association. Thanks so much for joining us, Richard.